picking your first Tom Ford fragrance and making sure that it's original. Guys, awesome for tuning in. I'm gonna discuss with you today Tom Ford Oud Wood, my first Tom Ford fragrance that I ever bought. And this is a fragrance, there are different lines in the Tom Ford house. This is not from the signature line, but from the private blend line. And you can see this based on the characteristic bottle design. And then in part 3, we're going to look a little bit at the different notes so that you get an idea of the smell. And then in part 4, I'm going to share with you my conclusion. When do I like to wear this fragrance? And when do I not like to wear this fragrance? And for whom could that be interesting to get a oud fragrance? And for whom maybe not. Awesome, you're here. Let's get rolling. Terrific. Now let's have a close-up look at this long-time oud fragrance, the bestseller, the Oud Wood from Tom Ford. Don't grab it by the top because obviously the cap is going to come straight up. And if you want to check the age of your fragrance, there is actually, it's probably hard to see, but there is a batch code printed on here, which you can also find on the bottom here. And mine is A29, if I'm not mistaken. And this you can compare with the packaging and the bottle bottom, and then enter on websites like checkfresh.com, as you can see here, and that would be the age of my bottle with my batch code. Sometimes the counterfeits can be surprisingly close from the design, so make sure you always get the original. That's why I like to show you the close-up shot of the presentation. So let's jump to part 3 and look at the notes. Terrific. So now we jump to part 3 and we're going to take a closer look at Tom Ford Oud Wood. I prepared my testing strip. Like always, I sprayed something on it and let it dry down. Here you can see the beautiful presentation of the Tom Ford Oud Wood private blend fragrance. And looking at the side card, you can see it's an eau de parfum concentration. It smells very, very unique. It was released 2007, so it's one of the earlier releases from the Tom Ford private blend line. The perfumer was Richard Herpin, and yeah, I would say this is a very classy, bold fragrance. It's warm. The lady at the fragrance store actually said, "Oh, this is a little bit too heavy." When I talked to her about Oud Wood, she was like, "Oh no, not Oud Wood, it's too heavy." But I was like, "Oh, I love the scent. It's not that bad." And she was looking at me, "Really?" So woody, creamy, soft, and I find it also to be somewhat sweet. So how could this be created, this effect? So why don't we just go straight ahead and jump to the notes? You see rosewood, pepper, cardamom, vetiver, sandalwood, oud, vanilla, and amber. I just picked some of the notes. I didn't include all. The sandalwood is interesting. I could imagine sandalwood sometimes can be like so creamy and soft. Sandalwood is actually also very nice to use. So interesting to see here that they apparently have this combined maybe with the agarwood. It smells delicious. It also has changed from the dry down. When I sprayed it initially on the tester strip, it was not as well balanced. Now that it has dried down, it smells way more balanced. Interesting is, there is some debate. Sometimes people say, is this real oud in Oud Wood? Is this a synthetic oud that's in Oud Wood? And one clue that I can give you, I don't want to judge this, whether it's synthetic or natural. Either way, I don't care, as long as it's an awesome fragrance. And a lot of people, the majority of people seem to think this is an awesome fragrance. A lot of people wear this as a bestseller for the house. So if it's a natural oud, it should have like a lot of detail to it. So, and if it's synthetic, maybe it's not as broad, you know. If you imagine you have a natural ingredient, and also with the oud, there are many different types of ouds, you know, depending on where you grow it. The ouds can, depending on how you process it, the ouds can come out very differently. And even if it would be synthetic, sometimes the synthetic oud can also be more expensive than the natural ones. So there's a lot of going on. I unfortunately not trained. I'm not perfumer. I'm just into fragrances. So I'm not purchasing the raw materials, or I don't have a lot to deal with it. But my conclusion is this oud wood fragrance, I would totally agree. A lot of people say it's a great beginner oud fragrance. And in fact, it also was for me the first oud that I bought, because everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about oud wood, and then I just blind bought it, and I was wearing it for the first time, and the effect was like, whoa, what the heck is this? I've never smelled anything like it before. So if you have never tried oud wood before, you might have the same kind of experience. So for whom could that be interesting, and for whom could that be not interesting? Like if you're already really deep into ouds, maybe you're gonna find oud wood a little bit too simple, quote unquote. Or maybe if you're looking for just a safe everyday wear office fragrance, then I think oud wood is just too it's very creative and unique, classy. So I find myself to reach for it every now and then, but I'm not reaching it for it all the time. So it's for me not like an everyday kind of scent. Plus it's very pricey, and what I actually can encourage you is also to check out the Tom Ford, not just the private blend line, but also the signature line. Tom Ford has a bunch of fragrances in the signature line, and I, for example, also like this Tom Ford Noir Extrem. In fact, I'm wearing this Tom Ford Noir Extrem. I have worn this more than the Oud Wood. Because it's more affordable, so I'm thinking, okay, it's more affordable, so I can reach for it all the time. Sometimes the Oud Wood is, I think it's also because it's more expensive. For a lot of people, that's not going to be an everyday reach. It's for me, it's somewhat of a statement maker, and I need to be in the mood for it. This was my first oud fragrance that I ever bought, and you have seen my reaction to it. Awesome. If you have other Tom Ford fragrances that you think are really awesome, let me know in the comments below and I can review them as well. You find more of these videos on my channel page in the appropriate playlist. I'm always uploading new content for you guys. If you want, you can subscribe right now, but you don't have to. And let me know whether you like this video or not. And I see you in the next video. Take care. Very nice, guys. This concludes the review, and if you want, I also have another cool niche fragrance coming up for you. That's the Parfums de Marly Layton, a really wonderful masculine fragrance, very exclusive and loved by a lot of people. It's really a bestseller of the Parfums de Marly house. So if you're interested in niche fragrances for men, then check out my channel page. They have a dedicated playlist for these kinds of fragrances, everything nicely sorted for you. You can subscribe. I see you in the next video. Take care.